Today we're following up drama on Marginfi. Will the DApp recover? Sharky's getting ready to launch and looks like they're going to be primed for a good position. And of course, we've got Jup coming next week and a whole lot of airdrops. Let's dive in, and actionables are at the end. It's the 12th of April and this is your daily Solana debrief. April 16th is a date, mark your calendars. Claiming Shark, that's when you can do it. Details about the Jup LFG, so I'm assuming it's going to go live on the 16th. Centralized and decentralized listings, and also more details coming regarding expanding to real-world assets and other chains to increase their liquidity. I'm not all over NFTs. I feel DeFi is going to do a lot better. DeFis and airdrops. However, having said that, it looks as though Sharky is doing quite well. Maybe I will do a tutorial on this in the future, but in the meantime, I will be participating, and I'm hoping we have some details, a few details, come Monday, so I can cover it in Monday's video. Next, the deadline to reserve your Shark allocation is Sunday, April 14th at midnight UTC time. A little bit of a correction down here, so thanks for that information. And if you don't actually reserve it, I'm not sure how it works because I don't have a Mad Lad or a Gen 2 Solana monkey business, but if you don't reserve it, then you lose it. It goes to other people. So make sure you go and do this. Ideally, just do it today. Pre-market for Sharky token is sitting at $1.80 on whales.market. Now, typically on Whales Market, this is actually the higher price. So when it actually launches, it will be less than this. It's not financial advice, it's just going off what has happened in the past. Zeus was trading at a couple of dollars, and then it launched at around 70 cents. Same thing with Wen, Jup, Wormhole, all these things. Typically, it's better to sell it a few days earlier. But of course, there will be something that bucks the trend in the future, and I'll look silly. So it's not financial advice, but you can have a look at the valuation if you have any Sharky tokens and work out if it's a good time to maybe sell a little bit with Whales Market now. Just a reminder, Wednesday, 5 p.m. UTC time, this is when it's time for you to go and do your vote. So here are all the things you can vote for. There's a lot of good ones here. I feel, and this is a good thing, but my voice is kind of getting a little bit louder, more people following, so I don't really want to influence anyone's decisions. But we have to be honest that 9 Heroes is a legitimate AAA title. Uprock has plenty of traction in the grass kind of space of collecting data, feeding it to AI models, all that sort of stuff. Definitely has a use case. Sanctum looks really, really good. And I'm sure all of these other 3 projects, they certainly want to achieve things, but this is effectively a competition. So if you really, really like something like, say, Solana ID or Sourceful or MonkeDAO, then of course vote for it. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident that 9 Heroes will grab the spot, and the fight for second will be out of these 2. Phantom has been having quite a few issues, so many so that, at times I've had to use Soulflare. However, looks like they're revamping some things, so hopefully we can see some major changes coming soon. Now, of course, there's also Solana network changes coming. You can follow the progress here if you're familiar with GitHub. All this stuff is first going on testnet, and hats off to all these people, but Anza has been doing a huge amount of work. Thank you. So if you have a testnet validator, this release is now deployed to DevNet, recommended for use on testnet. Please upgrade ASAP to help us start analyzing the effects of the proposed congestion fixes. Perpetual points in the incentive program. Points are currently accruing, but have not been reflected via a new leaderboard. You'll be able to opt in here, and as I've mentioned many times before, and I'll keep on mentioning it until they either do something differently or I disagree with something, and thus far, nothing like that. Very, very bullish on Parcl, very, very bullish on clean dApps that can really represent real-world assets. And if you don't actually have time to trade, or, trading real estate's not your game, just remember just LPing gets you a decent number of points. Fabiano has so much alpha on airdrops all the time, so thank you. Thank you, Fabiano. Must do, Jup, Meteora, Grass, Rainfi, and Sanctum. And then we have the next do's, some should do's, could do's, and nice to haves. I would say Flexlend, do it. If you like NFTs, Sharky, Uprock for sure, D-Bridge, definitely, Parcl of course, Kamino of course, and if you have the skills to pay the bills, and what I mean by that is you're not going to sign a malicious transaction, and if you can KYC with Backpack Exchange, then there's a huge amount of value in Backpack Exchange. Just keep in mind that whatever you put in terms of fees, maybe spend $1,000 on fees, there's no guarantee that you're going to get tokens back worth $1,000. So of course, there's a bit of a risk, but I do think it should outperform. Maybe though it's like $1,000 worth of fees turns into $2,000. I'm not entirely sure, but there's quite a narrative here but I do feel crypto Twitter can amplify things that aren't really there. And as it says here correctly, it is more advanced. Now, if you don't have much time, start with Jup. This is the easiest one to do. From there, get familiar, make sure you stake and vote with your Jup every single time, because there's going to be a decent amount of airdrops coming your way in terms of active staking rewards. Now onto Sanctum. So Sanctum has been growing, new person joining the team, ecosystem surpassing 150 million, and the job's just getting started. If you want some information on Sanctum, go through this thread. I think it's definitely worthwhile researching them. They are potentially worthy of your vote in the LFG. And if you want to potentially qualify for an airdrop, then follow Sniper's Goal. I know that dApps don't actually like talking about tokens and airdrops, like they're never going to retweet those sort of videos. But at the end of the day, if someone's sharing alpha and I don't share it to you, then you're missing out and you will make less gains. So I do think this is well worth it. And I will add a little bit of a tutorial on how to do it in tomorrow's video. Here's some more alpha, and I have no idea how long there's going to be some kind of arbitrage on this, but $1,000 worth of trading volume, 1,000 Z score. You can go and sell those points on Whales Market for a higher price and therefore make more money. So Zeta Market's well worth it. Now some news about Marginfi. I did say yesterday that I wanted to remain fairly neutral, and that's certainly the case. But just for full transparency, I've moved my funds out of Marginfi. I definitely hope that I'm wrong, but I have been burnt with Celsius and BlockFi, also with Cash Cow back in 2021, and FTX. And when you see these major red flags like this, it's just worth reevaluating is all. But the actual reason why I've moved has nothing to do with trustworthiness. I still trust the actual company. It has more to do with the fact that it's just costing me too much money to use the dApp, and I'll show you why right now. The reason why I'm paying so much on USDC and USDT is because I have a belief that you can basically go put in your SOL, let's say 10 SOL worth $1,700, then go ahead and borrow $500 worth of USDC or $500 worth of USDT, and then go and swap that for SOL and then put it back in to this, because I do believe that SOL will go to 500, 800, maybe even higher. And of course, USDC, all you have to pay is just the borrow rates. Now, typically in the past cycle, like 2021, 2022, when the borrow rates went to about 20%, that was overheated. That was really, really overheated. As soon as I saw on FTX that you could loan out your USDC for 20%, that showed that there was too much leverage in the system and things had to pull back, and they generally did pretty quickly. However, right now, to borrow USDC, it's 65%, which is absolutely insane. And if we're just lending it, we're getting 50%. Now keep in mind that an actual bank is going to give you 1 to 3%. 3% if you're doing really, really well. Probably closer to 1.5. And over here, we're getting 50%. So probably a decent place to park it if you trust the dApp. But if you want to borrow at the same time, way too expensive. And I'll just show you Flexlend.fi as well. I have a tutorial video on this. I do suggest that you use it. Having a look here, we can see right now the best place to actually, I guess you could say, borrow from would be Solend, and everyone else is really under 30. Mango, I'm going to stay away from Mango. Nothing against him, just I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of value compared to, say, Drift, Kamino, and Solend. Now that's with USDC. So look at USDT. Sometimes this can spike really high on Solend. Hasn't done so today, but you can still see it's very expensive on Marginfi. So it's a good place to get a yield. But if you want to actually borrow USDC or USDT, it is not good. So for now, I'm staying away from Marginfi. We also have to factor in that funds are leaving, and that could mean a little bit of an issue. So if we have a look at DeFi Llama, we're having a look at Solana here and the actual TVL on chain. We've got Marginfi here, 518 million. In the last 7 days, it's lost almost 37% of its TVL. If we compare that to Kamino, it's over 1.3 billion, it's up 12%. And Solend, which is trying to claw back some liquidity, they're up 20%. Now, of all these dApps, Kamino is my favorite. The issue with Kamino though is caps have not been raised with everything. I'll show you that quickly though. So as an example, if you see something like this, it means that you cannot deposit anything else in there. That's fine, to be honest, because we can deposit into pretty much everything else. However, if I wanted to go and put in, say, 100 SOL and then go take out a USDC or a USDT loan, there's actually no liquidity for me to pull it out. So they need to increase the caps on these. I'm not sure why they haven't been done. I guess they don't rush these sort of things just to keep the dApp functioning and safe. Also, the other thing that Marginfi has done wrong is Kamino and other apps are showing you that there is a point system, you can see the points, and you know that there's a token coming. Marginfi also has a point system. 0 points in this wallet, we don't know how many points we can get, and Edgar, the founder, who's now resigned, he said he will try and brick the token launch. And a token launch is a way that a Web3 community can get behind a DApp. Like, look at Jup. If Jup didn't have a token, then it would not be rallying so much. It wouldn't be becoming the biggest DAO in all of Web3. So you definitely can't fade a token, you just have to get it as right as possible. And it's just not looking good for Marginfi, to be honest. To be fair, they can of course change things, but that depends on them. And it seems as though the team internally and externally has some issues. We also have this overlay, I will link it below, but we can see the assets continuing to decrease. This had total assets, I think, over 800 million fairly recently. And now money just keeps on moving out. Now, of course, with drama there, people are going to go and try and grab your liquidity, as they should. So Solend 2 is live, Season 2. Here's what you need to know. 7 figures of SLND and partner rewards. All collateral-enabled deposits are incentivized. It ends in 3 months. You have to go and deposit in here, and they are counting on it actually being a vampire attack. So a vampire attack is essentially when there's a DApp that exists, and another DApp comes over, maybe they fork the code, as an example, Uniswap and SushiSwap. SushiSwap forked the code of Uniswap and then pulled liquidity from Uniswap, which meant it generated fees, and they gave people sushi rewards. So what they're trying to do is they are trying to vampire attack Marginfi, and they need to because they don't have a massive amount of TVL. So new deposits until the 17th of April that remain deposited through the end of Season 2 will receive a 2x multiplier. If you just want to farm this, maybe a good thing to do is move some of your funds, the majority, not financial advice, out of Marginfi, some into Solend, some into Kamino, and then you're still going to have some funds in Marginfi in case they basically say something like, hey, you get a points bonus if you didn't move your funds out, or if you didn't move all your funds out, or something like that. And then at the same time, you'll get a vampire bonus with Solend. The thing with Solend is I don't actually know what the token does. I'm not sure if it's worth accumulating the token. That's something I can look into today and report on tomorrow. Now onto brighter news. Solana Sensei's collection, new one, the Pandas, 3,333 new NFTs. The art is by Monolith. So 2,222 NFTs go to Namaste holders, and the other 1,111 NFTs will be handpicked by Solana Sensei one by one through DMs. Mayan, which is a bridge protocol, has just gone and raised $3 million. Congratulations. Some big news from JitoSol. It's going natively multi-chain with Wormhole NTT. So as an example, you can go and have Solana exposure on Ethereum just by holding JitoSol. I think this is big news. Famous Foxes has a raffle going on. The Famous Fox and Steppen Genesis sneaker raffles are now live. Pretty expensive per ticket, 310 GMT, but probably worth getting a ticket if you're into Steppen. Less Burgers game will be starting soon. If you have grabbed yourself a burger, you can go and submit your vote right here. This will take you to this website here. I don't have any burgers in this wallet, and you can decide what's going to happen with the other 3,500 burgers. As we can see here, what should be the fate of the leftover 3,500 burgers? If you want to play this game, you're looking at around 1 Sol on Tensor. Some breaking news from MonkeDAO. MonkeDAO has acquired the Banana Stand. The Banana Stand is basically what they use to reward those in the DAO and profit from MetaDAO. Wants to push forward MetaDAO, of course, and Futagi. We need someone who's good at narrative growth working on MetaDAO. And as he says, I cannot overemphasize how impactful Futagi will be on our world. If you're a long-term orientated and effective person who has the skill set, please reach out to Profit or Tootie. To be honest, if you actually have the skills, do this. Tootie's a technical guy behind validator.com. Remember to stake your soul with us. And he runs a validator, and he's a really decent guy. Profit, I don't know personally, but Profit is a friend of Tootie's, and they work together, and he gets stuff done. So working alongside them, you'd grow a lot. Of course, you have to actually add a lot of value to MetaDAO itself. But if you have the skills to pay the bills, this would be well worth it. Yesterday, this person here put me onto Wuffi, so I went and claimed my Wuffi. This is not a meme coin that I'm promoting or anything like that. More letting you know that if you pre-ordered the Saga 2, you can go and claim Wuffi. I did it myself with my wallet, and it was worth about $22 worth. So you click claim now, You have to do a couple of transactions. So Solana, start now. I've got nothing that I'm owed on this wallet, or maybe I do. Claim, okay. Wasn't expecting any, to be honest. So the first transaction you'll see is it's taking rent. So that's normal. And after that transaction goes through, the next transaction is you actually claim the token. I'll give it a second and see if we can do it. I'm unsure if it's gone through, so we're going to check again. Claim now, and we are good. So you can see that the rent transaction's obviously gone through. Now it's just a little bit of Sol, and we can claim Wuffi, confirm. Now we just come here and just type in Wuffi. This is our token here, and we can go keep it, sell it. I have no information on this. It's $23 worth. Thank you for the free $23 and confirm. Of course, when you're playing with dApps like this, you want to make sure that the transaction is safe. So I'll quickly just show you the transactions. So we've jumped into the wallet here. We've got a couple of transactions, 1 and 2. I don't know what this one is. Maybe this is me prompting to actually claim it. Maybe it takes a little bit of time. So we'll go and grab this one, and then we'll have a look at the second transaction as well, right here. Now here, I just want to search for any delegation. There's been nothing delegated here, so we know that this is very simple. And for this next one, once again, we just want to check for any delegations. There's nothing delegated here. So from my experience, this is safe. I have no idea about the token. Maybe it does well, maybe it doesn't. But either way, you can go and claim it. You can hold it. You can sell it. You can LP it. You can do what you like. Now the actionables for the day. Harvest your MEV rewards at jito.network/harvest. I showed you how to do this in yesterday's video. Go watch that if you like. Prepare your wallets for Jup's LFG vote. I say wallets because a lot of people, like myself, have Jup in more than one wallet. And although the intention is to put it all into one wallet to keep it nice and easy to use, that just wasn't the case. So make sure you have a list of all your wallets, you're staking all your Jup, and you're ready to vote with all of them. You'll have a 3-day buffer starting on the 17th. Join Parcel's Perpetual Points if you're part of that. Give Fabiano a follow regarding airdrop news, and try maybe some of them. The easy one, start that off. People keep on asking me in DMs and comments, how do you get into airdrop farming? I think it's pretty easy. You start with something that's easy and you just upskill from there. There's also going to be a decent airdrop coming from Drift and Zeta Markets, I think. So try out these two, get some points, see what you think. And if you're interested in Blessed Burgers as a game, go buy an NFT and give it a go. That's all. Catch you tomorrow.